Hello everyone, welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing well. My webcam's not working again. It's not even being detected. What's going on here? That's not good. Just give me 1 second, guys. It's been happening like this for a little bit. I don't know why. The webcam just doesn't like being shown up for whatever reason. Alright. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna unplug it from my computer and use my... I was using my keyboard as like what's the word for it? I don't know. I just used the port on my... I was using it on my keyboard for a bit. It worked fine. It's a bit weird that my USB port at the back. Maybe this is why my internet connection has been bad. Alright, give me a second. Alright, there we go. Fixed. Yeah, not sure what that was all about, but we are back. We are back. Alright, for those who are here, how many of you guys are here? There's like 10 of us here. Don't tell the others, I did spend a little bit of money on very, very silly things. So, I had like 30 bill yesterday, and now I'm back at 17, but don't tell them. I might have got bored and I spent a little bit of money. Unfortunately this time, 0 gains were made. Alright. No one is shocked, truly. It really is a tall order to not spend. It's just like... I don't really have much to save for. That's the thing, right? If I have nothing to save for, then it's hard to save. I can just tell myself that I'm doing my best to save. I'm doing my best. My best isn't very much though. I take a lot of classes to a decent level. Would I ever play Ice Lightning? I think just like a generic answer for like the reason why I push classes. It's just because I like the aesthetic of them, or I like the playstyle of them. So I don't think there's anything wrong with pretty much most of the classes that you can just pick up and play. So in this case you're talking about Ice Lightning. Yeah, I mean Ice Lightning is a fine class. I don't see anything wrong with it personally. I think right now there's only a few classes that I wouldn't really consider. Outside of like the actual kind of difficult classes. I don't really want to play classes that have a high skill ceiling necessarily, so maybe not things like Blaster, Kadena, Evan, Kali, you know, those sorts of classes I probably won't play. In terms of Ice Lightning though in particular, I don't really know much about it, and I haven't really gone out of my way to make one. You had a primal urge to zero out. It's true, it is a struggle out here to not spend money. It really is. It's kind of fun. It's fun to spend money. Oh, thank you for the 90 streak. W Watcher. Easy to watch it play? Yeah, that's fair. I think that's that's valid. There are plenty of other content creators that I kind of feel the same way. When it comes to things or games like RuneScape, for example, I don't think I would ever play it myself, but I'll happily watch somebody else play RuneScape and then cut the video down for me for my own entertainment. Let me just sit a little closer to the computer. Hello, Learn. You know, the room isn't like that well lit up, but I'm kind of surprised that my forehead is like a beacon of light in the camera. The different, I guess, angle of my computer. I'm actually facing my window now. A little bit more directly compared to before. Yeah. I am in the midst of making a few videos. And I don't know how I feel about them, but I'm slowly getting there. My account overview is very long-winded, so I'm gonna try to redo it to make it a bit shorter. I'm also considering, after releasing that video, making a bunch of class guides. But the problem with me making class guides is that there's a lot more detail to them than I kind of expected. So what I thought would be like a short-ish 15-minute video is going to be a bit longer than that. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The thing about these, like making these guides, is that it's always easy to skip over information and you forget about certain things. And it's not until after you start rendering it when you like realize you're missing something. It's hard to edit it back in. Well, we'll see how it goes. Split into parts, Legion champs get 10 meals. You know what? That's actually a pretty good idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. Oh, we can go through all the retired characters. That'd be funny, actually. The only time that the Bowmaster will ever make an appearance on a video is on the retired characters page. Pathfinder? It's the Pathfinder, the Bishop that became a fire poison, the Buck that died after a couple of days. Yeah. The mech that is constantly dying. But I still play it anyway. I don't know, I feel like the mech has been like in a permanent state of like drowning. Against Parasites that use guns? What? Mechanics use guns. Xenon also... Oh, no, Xenon's not really doesn't really use a gun. But its animations kind of look like weaponry. Yep. Yeah. Well, all things aside, I think that I can actually probably level up to 280 today. All I need to do is get like about 10% EXP. Now that is super easy if I just do Angler Company. But I feel like I should try to hold off and do Nightmare Paradise. Should try to do that. Thank you for the hydrate. Yeah. We'll see what we can get done here. I have so many bosses I haven't done yet as well. So even though I have like 17 bill right now, I probably have like another 40-ish bill that I can go claim. A little bit more if I do my Xenon's Black Mage run, which I'm kind of lazy to do. Do Angler today, you can do thing after reset. Ideally I would like to do Paradise twice, that's why. Get a little bit more EXP and a little bit more fragments. That was the ideal plan, so I don't really want to use Angler to get to 280. Because then I can do it twice, technically. Rather than doing Angler this week and then Nightmare next week. I mean, technically, if I'm almost basically guaranteed to hit 280 tomorrow. Even if I don't do anything today. But I just needed to set myself a goal for today, because I didn't have anything I really wanted to do. I was going to play my Kanna anyway, I was going to grind anyway, but maybe I can fixate on getting the 280 goal. Would be kind of nice. Do I stream full time? Yes, I do. I've been streaming full time for like the last year and a half or so. Actually, almost 2 years now. It's 100% on the boss. Doesn't mean it takes 30 minutes. I believe so. Theoretically, you have enough damage to do it in 30 minutes. But I don't know how, like, the damage is calculated. Something about Shadower. But yeah, actually that number is important to know that it's for a 30-minute clear. Because if you see, like, 80% for Black Mage, that means that you can still clear, it will just be longer than 30 minutes. I think Black Mage is like the only exception to that rule. Pretty much every other boss is, well, it's just a 30-minute boss, right? Outside of like the early game bosses, pretty much everything is 30 minutes anyway. But yeah, for Black Mage, that's the thing that tripped me up. Because I remember doing my Scouter early on, when I was working on other characters. And then I was saying like, I feel like I can solo Black Mage, but why does Scouter only say like 80% or something? And then I had to be told like, yeah, this only applies to a half an hour run. Oh, I do it would help a lot actually if I hit a Especia chest. I think it was 2 days ago, I hit 2 back to back, one unique and one legendary. That gave so much EXP. All I can do is hope for another one. Alright. Let's get some boosters going. Make the most out of this Rune of Blessing. You can adjust the timer? Oh, nice. Yeah, I figured that'd be the case. But that's pretty useful for like trying to figure out if you wanted to do a certain boss within a certain amount of time. I mean, I think for the Destiny mission, not the Destiny mission, sorry, the Legion Champion missions, that's already like included. So they already did a version for that. That's pretty useful. But if, I guess for whatever reason you wanted to know if you could do like Black Mage within 15 minutes, you could technically figure that out. Pretty useful tool. The Mythical Scouter. Alright. I need to hit 75%. And then I should be able to level up. Maybe like 74% even. I did a little bit of rounding here and there to figure out how much EXP I needed. You think better, reg server or reboot? For me, definitely reboot. Because I don't want to spend money for items, basically. Or spend actual money for gains. A big appeal for me for playing pretty much most games is I like being able to like realistically work on my own gear. I think that's a lot of the fun for me playing a lot of different MMOs. And it doesn't mean that I'm against an auction house necessarily. It just means that I would like it to be like pretty accessible for me to make my own gains. Like in Reboot, I can farm for like, let's just say for an hour, right? I get about 600, 700 mil. And that can get me, you know, a small bunch of cubes. I can tap my items a little bit, right? And then that, you know, I can do other things to get Meso to do something similar. Whereas like in the reg server, I will make, I think actually Meso per hour while farming, I don't think it's that much different, if I understand it correctly. But bossing's a lot less. And then on top of that, you have to spend like some amount of, a good amount of Meso or money to be able to, you know, kind of hit those numbers. Oh, Baron, thank you for the hydrate and the 115 view streak. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna like talk like I know exactly what's going on in the reg server or anything like that, but I do think that for me in Reboot, that it's really appealing that I can just work on my own gear. There's a bunch of other reasons as well, but that's probably the main reason. When I play other games, like when I played Guild Wars, I didn't mind the auction house necessarily, because like I was able to at least farm the currency within a reasonable pace, that I didn't feel like I was missing out on too much. I didn't feel forced to spend money. Whereas MapleStory definitely has like, you know, the ways to make gains is pretty expensive. So then naturally, if you try to buy gear off of other players, you're gonna have to be paying a little bit more as well. And to like get that money, it's pretty difficult to farm in comparison to Reboot. Do we know if we're getting patch notes with the test server? I have no clue. I kind of forgot about the test server. I haven't signed up for it or anything. Wish we had something like Frenzy. We did have the wild totems. And I think also, maybe before that, we also had Frenzy totems in Reboot. I do miss it as well in terms of the spawn rate. But I think it's fine that the game is balanced around its own natural spawn and not worrying about the spawn rates. I think if the game wants to do enhanced spawn rates, it needs to do it across the board, and it can't be a limited resource. Or rather, it shouldn't be a limited resource. There was a period of time where we had wild totems in the game alongside Kanna's Kishin, and that difference of having a set amount of totems that you could use throughout the month, and a character that could just have unlimited Kishin or unlimited totem, very much skewed the class balance by a giant chunk. Nobody likes farming like inefficiently, especially in a game like MapleStory where farming is a big chunk of the gameplay. Yeah, part of me does miss the enhanced spawn rates, but at the same time, I'm glad that that aspect of the game's kind of gone. Because I didn't really like having a limited amount of time that I had to spend if I wanted to feel like I was being efficient. One of the biggest complaints with wild totems back when they existed was that they only lasted for okay, I say only. They lasted for 2 hours, but it was 2 hours from when you bought them. So as soon as you bought it, you kind of like locked in for 2 hours of farming, because anything less than that, then, well, you'd waste the resource, right? Well, quote unquote, waste the resource. And that by itself made the game feel worse to play, in a sense, because it felt like you were punished for trying to farm if you weren't able to farm for 2 hours. At least that's how I felt about it. knowing how I play nowadays as well, if I was told to farm for 2 hours, I wouldn't know if I'd be able to do it. Like, I wouldn't be able to use that to its full extent, because I think I'd either get bored or I wouldn't want to finish it. Back when I was playing and those things existed, I had a lot more time on my hands because of the whole COVID situation. But now that now that I actually have to do things outside of playing MapleStory, even though I play this game full time, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I have that in me to sit down for 2 hours and grind. Sometimes I get the motivation to farm for a while, but you know, doing that 20 times a month, that's how many that you got. You got like 20 of those totems a month. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do it. What about you guys? You guys miss totems or nah? Also, the sun is very much shining into my eyes. I have not learnt my lesson. Hello, Gibson. You know, you'll miss me again when I go to Singapore, because I'm not going to let you know when I'm there. You're going to see a photo from me, I'm going to put it into the Discord, and then that's it. By the time that you notice I was there, I've already left the airport. W. People also had 2 PCs for Kishin, yeah. And it was a very, like, if you wanted to farm on your main really efficiently, that's the only way that you could do it, right? Because people who farmed a lot, right? I'm imagining like the guys who do, you know, upwards of like 6 hours a day, at least a day. Like those guys, you run out of your totems immediately, right? Like you use 3 a day, you get 20 a month. So within a week, it's all gone at that rate. So what are you gonna do for the next 3.5 weeks or something like that? You're not gonna farm on like subpar rates, because in comparison, it feels bad. So either you farm on your Kanna, which has enhanced rates, and farm Meso, or if you wanted to farm your main, you had to have either a second PC or like a second account that had a Kanna of the right level as well. And let's not kid ourselves, it was pretty hard to level up back then. It's hard to have a Kishin mule. It's hard to have a Kishin mule, it's not cheap. It's a lot of time investment. Especially when you got to like the 250 areas, like it was slow to get to 250. Anyone who had a Kishin mule at 250 plus, they were like super serious about MapleStory. It was already hella slow to get just 1 255 to get to Limina, and Limina was like the highest content back then. And there was like the whole grey area about like Kannas doing their permanent upkeep on Kishin. Kind of like in the same grey area as Demon Slayer TP farming, you know, it was in that same kind of realm. In 2 days is hard Black Mage? You mean like the reset? The reset's at the beginning of the month. So, like 12 days. It's always funny reminiscing about like these old times in MapleStory. There were like so many good things, but also so many bad things. Hyperburn. Hyperburn's in 2 days. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, HBM, hard Black Mage, that's at the beginning of the month. Yeah. That's so funny. I didn't even think of the Hyperburn. Yes, the Hyperburn's in 2 days. I think they're talking about like a Hyperburn max. Is that what they call it nowadays? I mean, for me, it's just a Hyperburn. Is that what the 260 Hyperburns are called? Hyperburn max? Or maybe that's the 5 levels. Because the 270, what was it called? It's called like Hyperburn Beyond. Hyperburn Max Beyond. Yeah, it's all the same, right? It's just minor details. Yup. Hyperbird Max Beyond Ultra. Yes, sir. This is what we'll get in a few years while they'll let us hyperburn to 300. Alright. I'm gonna be very sad about my rates after the procs are gone. Wow, almost done 3% in this half now. Alright, the dream of hitting 280 today is real. Surely I don't zero out, right guys? What if I zero out anyway? What if I just do it anyway? Actually, most of my gear on my characters are 3-line. I don't really have anything to even spend my money on anymore. Like, legit. All I have to do is just, like, spend on random stuff. How much EXP? I just need to get this character to about 75%, and then I can use the event stuff to get to 280. I still have the Transcendent Growth pot and some advanced EXP tickets from the university event. This thing. Yeah. So with those advanced EXP tickets should give me about 8%. The Transcendent Growth pot gives me about 14%. Monster Park gives me 3%, so that's like roughly 25%. So if I can get to around 75%, I should level up. Maybe a little bit earlier. But it's in that realm. $75 in an hour? I don't know if it's gonna be an hour. I think in the last half an hour I got like 3%. But I had the event procs going on the whole time. So once the event procs go away, it'll probably be closer to like 1.8% an hour or something. Oh, 1.8% every half an hour. But I still have like little bits of EXP here and there. I could even just like jam mag pots onto this character. I don't really care for a hyperburn. Once I get to 280, I'm chilling anyway. I'm not gonna be fussed about my EXP, and we're just farming frags at that point. But I wanted 280, so then I could like conveniently do all my weeklies. Run Monster Park? Yeah. So Monster Park gives me 3%. That's already included in the calculation. Weekly dungeon. No, we talked about this. I can't run Angler Company. That's not part of it because I want to run Nightmare Paradise. So if I run Angler Company, I can't run Nightmare Paradise this week. Actually, I don't even know how much EXP that Angler would give me, but it would save me like probably an hour or two. But I can't use that to get EXP at the moment. Which is a shame, but that's fine. Min-maxing epic dungeons? Nah, it's more like I'm so close to it, it doesn't really matter. But I also really want the frags. The frags are huge. Frags are worth more, exactly. Like, it's a big jump. It goes from 55 to like, what, 70, 75 or something? That's 20 extra frags. That's like an hour of farming. I don't even know actually how many frags you get an hour. But 20 sounds like a lot. And I get like actually a pretty big injection of frags from that. Because I'll get the 70 or so from Nightmare Paradise before reset. I'll get the 70 after reset, and then I'll get my 5k frags. So 5k mobs. It's like 300. About 20 an hour, yeah. Yeah, in this last half an hour I got about 8 frags. I mean, it's all kind of like variance anyway. I also don't have max meso and drop on it the whole time. Because I only have 20-minute coupons. I am not upkeeping them. Elite mob should drop frags. I agree. That'd be good. Just one guaranteed frag per E-mob. Do you guys remember the days where they would tell you when the elite bosses would spawn? Do you guys remember that? I remember doing that to like try to get epic pot scrolls. Or something like that. It was either to get epic pot scrolls or epic potential items. Because they weren't easy to get back then. That was a real struggle. Actually, I still think it is like kind of a struggle now. They've added it more to event shops and stuff like that. But even then, if you were a new player, right? And you're getting into the game and you're making your own gear. Let's assume you don't have item burning because, you know, that's not on all the time. You need a lot of potential scrolls. E-pots are easy with Frontier. Maybe like for an more established account for sure. But I still think that for like a new player, it's still hard. Because you need, what? There's at least 3 armor pieces there. Let's say like there's 8 armor pieces and about 9 accessories basically. That's a lot of E-pots that you need. If you want all of them to be epic. I remember getting really excited about finding random epic items while getting to level 200 because I was like, oh, I can transfer hammer this all the way up to my CRAs. You guys is the only consistent way? Yeah, but that also is like, gives you 50% epic pot scrolls, which feels kind of bad. I do not miss doing New Garden every day for the coins. Now at least they give us like way more epic pot scrolls. At least it feels like that. The drill halls were OP for elite bosses, yeah. And I remember being in Vanishing Journey and just sitting around in Vanishing Journey. It's not 100%? Nah, it's not. It's 50% scrolls from New Garden. But you gotta do what you gotta do if you want some E-pots. Using Legion coins, kinda expensive. Although, are they getting rid of like, I know in MC, did they get rid of paying coins to upgrade? Upgrade their Legion. I feel like they did. Commerce gave 1 E-pot? Yeah, I did that as well. You Garden for 2 months. Yep. If you were doing it without the events on at the time, there weren't that many ways to get E-pots outside of U Garden. Because you really do want to spend your Legion coins, because, you know, Legion wealth and luck are a lot more valuable. Especially if you were still trying to get Golix gear. You can't really afford to spend your limited Legion coins on E-pots, especially with how expensive they are. They weren't cheap. How much is it for like an E-pot in the Legion shop? Like 300 coins or something? That's quite a lot. Depends on the item though. If it's on something that's pretty permanent, it will feel a lot less bad. Like if you got an Arcane, for example, I don't think you'd feel too bad spending 300 Legion coins getting into an epic pot. But at the same time, 300 coins is a hell of a lot of coins. I would rather buy like 10-minute drop coupons than buy 1 epic pot scroll. I'd just be patient. I guess technically you could have also just like waited for getting, like wait until you got enough cubes. Like these, the green cubes are not too uncommon from bosses. It wasn't too hard to get. Also, the lag seems to have gone away. I changed the node that I was on, so it seemed to have fixed the issue that we were having yesterday. I don't know if it like self-corrected itself anyway, but at least for me, it seems to be okay. Then after this, hopefully I'll be able to level up within the next hour and a half. Then I have some time to do some weeklies, because I have a lot of weeklies I have not touched. Lots of hard Serens and Carlos adversary runs and stuff. The downside of having characters that I actually run these bosses on, it feels a little tedious, but at least it does give a lot of money. Just hands you everything. I mean, they gotta give stuff for people to stay in the game. That's how it works. Also, it's good. A lot of players want to, especially those who want to try playing new characters or making new mains, it does feel pretty bad if you aren't able to get a new character back to where your main is. So they're making it like much easier to get to, you know, a specific point. I'd say like getting a character to soloing hard Seren's a lot more accessible. It's like a really accessible point. Not necessarily a fast point to get to, but it's accessible, I'd say. Hello. How's Kanna's training? I can be pretty lazy. Pre-6 job, it's pretty bad, I'd say. The summons are pretty inconsistent pre-6 job because they kind of just teleport. Oh, they still mob, but you're probably still running around to attack things. Once you unlock Soul Janus, you can farm pretty lazy either with Dusk or Dawn. But once you get into like the bigger maps, your Dusk has a bit harder of a time to full clear. Like I'm on an 18k like 18k mob per hour map. I'm probably getting somewhere around like the 85% efficiency rate. I don't think I'm killing everything on spawn. But if I used Dawn on a better map than where I am now, I could probably get closer to 100. But I'm mostly here farming with Dusk inefficiently because, you know, it's easy. Yeah, I think Kanna's mobbing is like, it's fine once you hit like Soul Janus. Like you can make it work. And then yeah, once you hit 20 Soul Janus, then it's the same as every class. Struggling with P3 on Ren. So, given your combat power, I'm going to assume that you're liberated. The first thing is like, obviously for Ren, when you do your burst, you got to make sure that you're in your Genesis iframe at the very least. I don't know if that's because I know some people like to use like their Jenny after their burst or something. But for Ren, you definitely have to use it during. Otherwise, you'll get kicked, and that's not good. Other than that, you have to have like an internal timing to not get kicked. That's probably the most dangerous mechanic in the fight for P3. So, you know, it's about 3 or 4 seconds in between each of his kicks or so. So if you have like an internal timer, once you hit that 3 or 4 second mark, you can just duck, like let go of your attack and duck. It's okay to just not even attack while you're anticipating it as you're learning, because more experienced players will be able to just let go for that split second that he kicks. But while you're learning it, it's okay to stop attacking a little bit earlier so then you don't lose your lives too fast. And this same rule applies to you using your Wish Unending skills or the Imuji skills, because like they lock you into animation. So after Black Mage kicks, you have a small window where you can use some of the attacks. But if you haven't noticed him kicking for a bit, I wouldn't initiate any of those attacks. Otherwise, you'll just get kicked. And pretty much every time you get kicked, unless you're kind of lucky, you'll probably lose a life. And getting kicked into a ball, getting kicked into a laser is very, very common. And yeah, you'll bleed lives like that really fast. Thank you for following. Welcome. If he doesn't kick and you're ducked, you gotta unduck and duck again. That is a nuanced part of the fight. That is true. Sometimes you can't just hold duck and wait for him like that. You actually have to wait for him to initiate his kick before you duck. There's like a bunch of random things that you kind of pick up, but I say just at the very least, it's okay to just stop attacking so then you can avoid his kick. I think for a lot of people, if they haven't cleared Black Mage before, it's actually a pretty hard boss to learn. I don't know about you guys, but when I was learning Black Mage, it was quite annoying wanting to practice P3, but you had to get through P1 and P2 first to get that practice. So unless you had some people to like help you speedrun P1 and 2, it's a little bit annoying. Because chances are you're dumping all of your damage at the beginning of P1. You're probably in P2 for at least another 2 to 3 bursts in most cases before you can get into P3. So it's like 8 to 10 minutes for a lot of players before they get into P3. Assuming they're not just like completely overspec'd for it. And that's assuming you don't even have a bad P2 or bad P1. Then you're just losing lives randomly there too. Yeah, practicing Black Mage is kind of difficult. It would be nice if they gave us like a phase selector to practice. But I don't know if we'll get that. Shadow has spoiled you? What does Shadow have that has good utility in Black Mage? I know Darksight in general is like pretty strong in Black Mage. You can avoid a good chunk of random mechanics with Darksight. Super Stance? Don't you still get cursed though, even though you have Super Stance? The stabs on iframe as well. Yeah, I mean, any class with a lot of iframes has a really good time in Black Mage. I think one of my friends, when he was playing Dual Blade back in the day, yeah, it just felt like he was invincible. the guy just stood in the middle the whole time and never got hit by anything. It's crazy. You could will before burst. That's true. The classes that have key down skills though, in Black Mage without a Genesis iframe, low-key miserable. Nothing like doing like a small part of your burst before having to let go of it. Watching people solo Black Mage unliberated on their Rens. No. You could not pay me to do that. I'd get tilted so easily. You overspec just blow him up? I mean, that's fair. I feel like that's the case for a lot of people. We all kind of like play this game in a different way. So it's okay to be overspec for bosses. Like, it's not like every player has to prove themselves that they have it in them to do a min cut. Nothing wrong with like min cutting and encouraging people to clear bosses that they're actually technically able to do, because that does make them play better as a player. But at the end of the day, does it really matter that much? Not really. I will always try to encourage people to try to solo bosses, especially if they're overspec'd, because it's a bit of a waste if you're sharing drops when you could be, you know, you put in a little bit of effort and save yourself the split. Look, I'm never gonna shame anybody for doing bosses over spec because I don't even do sea slime when it takes me like 10 minutes to do. And I would rather just either duo it in like 1 minute or just do end slime, right? It's kind of the same thing. You just draw the line somewhere where you can be bothered. Infernosphere, you get Jenny string. Oh, V-Heal strength? Yeah, so bad. And it just stops your burst as well. What's everyone gonna hyperburn? I will be hyperburning a Seer. This character doesn't have any pouches. Overspec in 1 burst? Yup. How strong do you think to solo X-Lotus? What's the hexa converted number usually? It's like around 80? Is it 80k? It's around there. Seer, not Arel. Yeah, for the hyperburn in a few days I'll do the Seer. Arel will be Challenger World 3. 75 for min cut? Yeah. I'm not quite there yet for a X-Lotus solo, but I'll be honest, I think even if I could solo, I'm not sure if I would. I don't know if I can be bothered doing X-Lotus for like 24 minutes. Would I prior Soul Janus and Challenger World 3? If you are really dedicated to the character, and like you said, you're going to train a lot, I think getting at least level 10 is pretty worthwhile. But I'll say, like, honestly, I haven't really felt a difference right now in terms of like how I farm with Dusk and with the orbs. I think I'll notice it a lot more when I get to Arteria. Right now, I'm comfortably farming Dusk, right? But like I said, once I hit Arteria, I'm probably gonna swap over to using the orbs. So yeah, I think 10 Soul Janus is a worthwhile investment if you're gonna grind. As for 20, I can't really say because I haven't hit that point. But I do know that a lot of people like to go for 20 Janus if they're gonna farm, especially if they're going past 285. Like the value of it definitely goes up a lot more when you get to bigger, like further in. Yeah, I think 20 Janus is when you hit the point of like, I'm serious about this character. I think I will probably go for 20 Janus once I hit like 284. Then I'll work towards 20 Janus. What if I stayed in Shang? You can dust farm in Shang. Like, I'm dust farming now. This map gives me more EXP actually than Winter. Or around the same amount of EXP as Winter. I did the math for it. Unless I go to a Winter map with at least 50% burning, I'm getting more EXP here at 100% burning. And yeah, let me just say, Winter is looking kinda dry. Winter be kinda dry. And you get to 280. I have a Transcendent Growth Pot and a few Advanced EXP vouchers. So I have about 25%-ish worth of like event EXP that I can claim. So I just need to farm up to about 75% and I should be able to level up. Yeah, so this event gave us like 1 Transcendent Growth Potion from the check-in, which is like here. And from the University event, I have a bunch of points, so yeah, I can get 2.1k. So that should be enough for me to level up. I think it also depends on like what your goals are with your damage, because 20 Janus is quite a lot too. Oh, Doggy, thank you for the 22 months, appreciate it, man. Can you show gear and frags on Kanna? I can show my frags right now. I'm in my farming gear, of course. I won't be able to show my damage gear, but this is my frags at the moment. The skills at the bottom left down here are just all level 1. Bishop or Lin is a new one. Lean towards Bishop. You know how good Lin is. I think in terms of like support, yeah, Lin is a lot better. I think overall damage Lin is also probably better. I can think of probably one distinguishing feature between the two that like might want you to push like one way or another. It's like the farming of Lin. It's a little bit jank in my opinion early on. I don't know how well it farms with Dusk, but I don't know. I was watching one of my friends farm on their Lin. Didn't seem that fun to me. Reminds me a little bit too much of Jet. Just like jumping around with a giant hitbox. Did I do the end Carl's mission? Yeah, I did it yesterday. Is it pure AFK? Yeah, see, this is where I don't know much about it. A Lin player would have to tell you more about like how AFK it is. I only vaguely remember watching one of my friends farm on their Lin, and they were complaining about like how active it felt, but maybe they didn't know about Dusk farming. How much time did I have left? I had like maybe 2 minutes left. Hello, house. It's my ex-Seren carry. He's holding out on me though. Never dropping me emblem. Keeping my Corsair jailed forever. Yeah. I need to, I think, get this to a certain level. I kind of want to unlock this as well. Unlock Hexa stat 2. The lava summon? Yeah, that's how it is, Mo. I've heard recently like you can use your lava summon. I think it's like a 30-second duration or something, and it will proc the other skills. There you go. Lava summon to keep doing things. What are my thoughts on Lin versus Hero? Well, they're very different classes, I'd say. I don't really have that strong of an opinion on Hero, just because I do play it, but I play it because it's simple. That's probably the main reason why I like Hero, where I just wanted like a solid character, decent movement, decent survivability, decent damage, decent burst, you know, like a pretty solid class overall, and it's not hard to play. That's why I really like my Hero. As for Lin, I haven't really played it past 210, but the gameplay also looks pretty straightforward. It has good mobility in the form of sweep as well, pretty broken actually. Its support is unrivaled at the moment. Its damage is pretty good for a support class, so kind of just depends what you want. I'd say between the two, if you were like happy either way, I'd probably recommend Lin over Hero anyway. Lin is too good of a class to pass up right now if you've put it on your whitelist. I think that's going to be the case with going into Challenger World 3 and any Hyperburn. It's just like if anyone asks, or if you're considering playing a non-KMS class, it's hard to say no to it right now. They're just in such a good spot. If those classes have made your whitelist, it's a really good pick. It's always nice playing classes that have a higher return on investment. It's a lot of fun to play stronger characters, I have to admit. But that's only if they're actually on your whitelist. I wouldn't like make a Kanna for the sake of making a strong character, for example. There's no point playing a character if you're just there for the damage specifically. Because there can be patches where they'll just dumpster the class. It's happened in the past. Kanna and Hayato have definitely copped it in the past. But yeah, if they've made your current whitelist for other reasons, either playstyle, you like the aesthetic, whatever it might be, and the damage is just kind of both, yeah, nothing wrong with picking the stronger character. Which one has better mobility? I think Hero probably does. I think Hero has... the versatility of his iframe being so short makes the mobility like really solid. Because you can use your iframe and basically teleport wherever you need to be. But Lin's mobility is like not far behind. Like Sweep is incredibly good. Yeah. I'd say Hero has a slight edge in terms of mobility because of like the utility with the short cooldown iframe. You can like ignore a lot of things while zooming around. Whereas I think Lin doesn't have its own iframe outside of E-form. But Sweep is, again, fantastic skill. Really, really good. Are you waiting to hear news about the Star Forcing? Or are you still good to use the upcoming Shining? I think it's fine to use the upcoming Shining on things that aren't pitch. Things that are guaranteed in a way. Like CRA, to some extent, Arcanes, Golix Gear. Yeah, I think it's fine to use Shining still. But if you really wanted to be conservative, I'd hold off from Star Forcing pitch in the upcoming event. Unless you were okay blowing it up. Because we don't know what's going on. I'd say, like, if you have pitch, I wouldn't tap down to 0 spares. Like, if you want to tap pitch and try to go for gains, I think it's fine as long as you have enough to restore it. In my opinion. But the safest approach with pitch right now, which is what I'm doing, I'm just going to wait for more details. I don't even know if I'll have anything to Star Force on Shining, to be honest. I might try to 22 some Arcanes, but that's probably the extent of it. All your pitchers staying at 18? Yeah, fair. Survivability and mobility on Hero might push you slightly towards it. Yeah, I will say, just at a glance, I don't think Lin and Hero are too different in terms of like overall playstyle. Like I've watched Lin play gameplay before, and you know, it really isn't that much different. I saw someone say Ilium. Is it a good pick? Ilium's probably fine, right? I feel like Ilium has always been in a pretty reasonable spot lately. Can anybody confirm that? It was like at the top of the charts for quite a bit. But I don't know where it is now. Probably fine. Started the game 7 weeks ago, grinded Ilium to 264, love it, nice. Got your first 100 drop, fam, yo. That's pretty good. I mean, if you just started 7 weeks ago and you have 100% drop, fam, already, you got some mains in here already mad. I know some of my friends who've been like playing certain characters for a while and they have not seen 100% drop, fam. Wait, 100 drops, 6 magic attack? Oh, is that on the same fam? There's no way, right? Surely not. No, if this guy's got 100 drop and 6 magic attack on the same fam, he's cooked half of the people in the chat already. That is, that is crazy. That is value right there. Because you don't even need to really swap your fams around when you do your bosses too. That's quality of life. I only have one character with something similar. My 110 drop fam on my my Ren has boss damage on it. Kind of the same way you have 6% attack and item drop. And it's so convenient not having to swap fams while doing bosses. So good. 7 weeks. Nah, it's good though. Now getting 100% drop early is like one of the best things that you can do. Like if you happen to hit it, you're kind of chilling because your fams drop way more often, your nodes drop often. What else? Frags, of course. I mean, extra drop rate's always nice for like your bosses as well. Is it beneficial to shoot for another drop fam? Not intentionally. There is a better drop fam, item drop 110%, right? So you'll probably be doing fams anyway for boss damage fams. So if you happen to come across a 110%, then it's an upgrade. But honestly, 100% drop fam is already like pretty good. Like having it is better than not. Because yeah, it can go up to 110 like this one. But it's not super uncommon to like get the 100 before getting the 110. You got it today? 12 unique fams. Yo, this guy's cooking. 12 fams is very lucky for a large drop. But it happens though. I can't deny it. Some of my characters got their large drop like super fast. Some of them had to work a little bit harder. I think my Ren needed like well over like 100 unique fams to get that. Probably more than 150, I don't remember. I remember farming a lot of my Ren. But some other characters, like I feel like my Kanna had no trouble. Amongst a few others. But yeah. Yeah, I mean if you hit it, you hit it. But yeah, in terms of drop rate though, these lines don't stack with each other. The item drop rate boost line, it just takes your highest one. So it's either, I think it goes from like 30 to 50, 60, 100 and 110. You got a 40 boss as well? yo. Alright. You're going a little crazy here. You're going a little crazy. There are a lot of people here who would really like just even a 30 boss fam. And you're a 40 boss and a large drop when you... It's too good. It's the welcoming bonus from joining MapleStory. I saw the Maple skills for Arel, who seems huge on survivability like Mihaw's, so you reckon damage might be lacking? I wouldn't be surprised if they made Arel still pretty strong in GMS, even though you might see that is the case in Maple M. I feel like it'd be unlikely that they make a new class release to be weak. I think they're more likely to overtune it than undertune it. At a glance, right? Sia was pretty strong on release, and the main downside of Sia was like a lot of quality of life stuff. Because I remember the teleport for Sia, for example, was pretty bad. It was really short. But I would assume that newer characters are probably going to be released slightly overtuned. But yeah, congrats on your fams though. That's crazy stuff. So you had no mana? Yeah. Give me a sec. I need to lower my blinds. I'm actually getting blinded. Now I just have a line of light on my eyes instead of the whole sun. This honestly is just as annoying if you ask me. You guys can see it. It's like a barcode reader on my face. It's cooked. It's over for me, guys. I gotta sit somewhere like... Here we go. This works. Just sit a little bit more forward. Came back to MapleStory after a year break. I'm still here. Yeah, I've been here. Welcome back. Alright, how many more hours do I need here? Probably at least another hour and a half. Oh, at most another hour and a half. Let's see if we can get this last level here. Where's the event? I need some more 3x coupons. I don't have any more MVPs. Need to grab some from the storage. There we go. I finished all my 4 Legion Carls, yes? Yes, I did. So I originally already had 4, but because I'm pushing my Kanna, I decided to remove one of them. So I took out my Cannon Master from my Legion Champs and put my Kanna in. And just yesterday I finished it. So I have technically 5 Legion Champs done, but we only have 4 of them unlocked at the moment. You have to redo the missions? Technically I do if I want to put him back in. But because my Cannon Master is like the strongest character on my account, I didn't really care to remove it because like N Carlos is like super easy for my Cannon Master. It's really, really easy. But because I'm trying to push my Kanna at the moment, I felt like it was more valuable to put my Kanna in my Legion Champs. That was the logic. It does cost a little bit of money. It costs like a bill to remove Legion Champs. But if you think about it, you pay a bill and you gain like a bunch of crit damage, a bunch of boss damage. I've definitely spent more money for less gains, especially for a new character. So yeah, I had the choice to remove my weaker characters as well, of course. Like I had my Ren, Battle Mage, and Corsair in the Legion grid, but I thought, well, those characters have a lot harder time clearing N Carlos than my Cannon Master. I might as well just remove like the strongest one. And then if I ever need to put him back, I'll put him back later. And it won't be too hard to redo. Change the location of the setup. Yeah, I rotated my computer a little bit. And don't mind the sun. Look at this line that's just perfectly at my face. It's great. But yeah, I'm gonna change the webcam later as well. I have a better webcam. It'll be facing like this side of my room. But the problem with that side of my room is that it's a little bit empty right now. I actually can show you guys that side. Oh, there you go. There's just nothing there at the moment. There's meant to be a shelf there that's arriving. Oh, it was meant to have arrived last Thursday, but I don't know where it's gone. So until then, you guys get to look at my other wall, which has at least a little bit more stuff there than not. You can also see the little cat in the background. It's kind of funny. That's smart. It's only smart if I actually stick with the Kanna, I think. I think if I don't end up sticking with the Kanna, then I just spent 1 bill for fun. Point the camera down instead, yo, chill. Fun money, that's only if I don't make it to 280. If I make it to 280, I get to save. But yeah, I've dubbed that cat on my shelf up there, JH. That's my mod. He overwatches my stream from that angle. I keep forgetting to use my boosters. You haven't Star Force your arcanes yet? Yeah, that's fine. Shining Star Force will be coming up soon. In like 2 weekends time. And then you can do your arcanes then. Am I gonna get the Goddess Pass? You mean for the Hyperburn? Probably not. I'm only gonna get the character to 250. Or maybe 260, I don't know. It will just be a Legion block. Which character? It will be on my Seer. How many of you guys are going to buy the Goddess Pass? Are you guys going to be making C10 mules or just Legion blocks like me? You on Scania? Ah, okay. I was going to say, you got your stuff pretty quickly. After 7 weeks. That's fair. What's a C10 mule? A C10 mule is a bottomless pit of money spent on a character. Reg player makes more sense. Well, to be fair though, you can still be a heroic player and hit those fams. I was a little bit confused because they called it a phantasmal fam. And I was like, isn't that like a higher level area? But I didn't really think much of it. What does C10 stand for? C10 refers to the bosses in Tenebris. So Gloom, V-Healer, Darknell. So a C10 mule are the characters that can clear these bosses and below. Basically. Once you hit a certain point, you're able to fund multiple characters to like clear those bosses reasonably quickly just for money, basically. They are, though, I will say, an endless pit of spending because you spend a little bit to get them to that point, and then as you play the game more, you think to yourself, hey, it could be a little bit faster. And then that's all it is. That's where it starts, and the next thing you know, you spend 500 bill on a character. And they do the bosses like 5 minutes faster. Also, thank you for subscribing, welcome. I'm gonna burn a existing character. Nice. Yeah, because there's a coupon. You can burn existing characters. I think the coolest part is the fact that you can burn like a character that is like level 100. I remember like there was some burns where you had to make it from fresh, but like the coupon one has its own benefits. Yeah, it is funny that Gloom is the only boss in that lineup that has a C. All the other ones are, you know, hard Darknail, hard V-Healer. The Chaos variant is only held for like non-humanoid bosses. But yeah. These sorts of mules are very meso intensive. Wish you could transfer your event here. Have we had those events in the past? I feel like we have, right? Is it usually with Night Troop that they give the hair transfer? Or am I thinking of something else? I thought that maybe in the past we've had events that allowed us to move our hairs around. I don't think I've ever taken advantage of that. But I feel like there actually are events that can do that. It's a unisex hair, so they won't let you? Oh. Interesting. Wait, so even if hypothetically we had a hair transfer, you wouldn't be able to do it? Oh, that's a bit sad. I didn't really realize there was a restriction. That's so random. Will your friend lose out burning his 235 buck? I mean, if he really likes the character, I don't think you'll lose out on anything. Like, the rewards are cool and all, but I think the main downside is not getting all the stuff from a paid... Twitch died. Are we back? That wasn't Twitch dying. That was my OBS dying. Are we back? How's YouTube looking? Are we live and alive? We back? How's Twitch? Is Twitch alive? Let me restart my Twitch stream. Up. Also muted. There we go. Are we back? Yeah, I don't know what happened. My OBS disconnected, and then my Twitch stream died immediately after for some reason. That usually doesn't happen. Farewell to all my viewers. At least the stream is now back. That's a good start. I want to push this character 285 plus. We'll see. I gotta get to 280 first. I don't know if I'll be able to push past 280, but we'll try. As in, like, I need to keep up the motivation to at least do my dailies on this character, which I think I will. I do actually want this character to be pretty strong, so let's just steadily push there. Professional content creator. Look, it's not my fault if it's the technology that blows up, alright? That's not on me. That's not on me. You can be any kind of professional, but if the microphone breaks, then it is what it is. Or in this case, it was my my streaming program. At least it wasn't my internet connection. Yeah, I think I actually do level up in the next hour, because I think I'll probably get about 1% more from this farming. And then if I do another half an hour, it should get me the last couple of EXP points. Should be able to do my dailies as well and level up. Nice, Melvin. Nice 90 watch streak, W. Was that the second time you clicked that? It's probably because the stream like cut out for a sec. Yeah, not sure what happened there. Thank you for reminding me about the FAMs. I am running out. So many FAMs have gone into the blender just for this EXP, but it's so worthwhile. I got another ring box yesterday. I got this thing, Thunder Ring. Over 1,000 FAMs. I think in the time that I've been in this map, I've probably blended at least like 3,000 FAMs, I want to say. So how to do the Mystic Frontier properly. So for the Mystic Frontier, you just want to use unique FAMs, ideally. You can use like epic FAMs if they're cheaper, or like more convenient to access just to do it. And they basically give benefits based off of each other's stuff, if that makes sense. Like their traits and attributes and things. That's how they kind of check, you know, if you get any benefits. Some cards are better than others, but usually you want to just have ones that give you like a multiplier of sorts, or a big number boost. Do I break down the FAMs? I mean, I break down the unique FAMs that don't do anything for me. I only keep the ones that either have a useful Mystic Frontier line or a useful line in general. So like in your case, you have boss damage and you have item drop, right? You make sure you don't break those down. Whereas the rest of them, like, you know, outline character in red, you can get rid of him. You don't need to keep him. Unless he has like a good Frontier line, in which case you can keep. There's no like set way of doing your Mystic Frontier FAMs. You can kind of get away with, as long as it's good enough, you'll probably get through most of your Frontier like expeditions fine. It's not too bad. There's definitely a level of min-maxing that you can do for your Frontier FAMs, but I'd say like in general, I don't know if the Frontier FAMs are like necessarily that good to min-max. feels kind of high effort for very inconsistent returns anyway. Yeah, 35 boss and 6 attack. I mean, that's still pretty good. 35 boss will keep you going for a while. Man, imagine 35 boss and 6 attack in heroic servers. Oh god, that'd be so good on the right classes. Just for reference, our friend here is in interactive. Can you just buy legendary FAM cards from the auction house? Oh, I accidentally swapped rings. But they're expensive? Yeah. Fair. They're super pricey. 100 to 500 bill? 35 and 6. Yeah, that's why I said, like, in interactive it might be a bit different. I don't know how they have 35, but who knows. I feel like most hybrids, for most people, they're gonna be done anyway. I would probably even argue a 6 and 20 is pretty done, because that's better than 40% boss damage in a lot of cases. You just take what you can get. Hybrid fams are so disgustingly, like, tedious to go for. I think after you hit 120, this is just like, can you really be bothered farming these fams? Oh no. I know I don't have it in me to do that. Like, I'm barely bothered to swap them in and out just to level them to level 5. So unless they get rid of that, I don't even want to do it. I will appreciate the fam system a lot more if they get rid of the leveling up to level 5. That requirement makes making fams, yeah, it's kind of painful. You don't have any market system? Nah. In Heroic, everything is done by yourself, pretty much, and it's all from the money that you farm. So for bossing, I think the boss crystals are like, what, 5 or 6 times more? And I think our meso rate is also 500 times, like 500%. So we get a lot more from each meso bag, typically. And the boss crystals also give us a lot more, because we spend all those mesos making upgrades. It's a bit different. I guess in a way you're like playing free to play anyway. But instead of like merching for meso or like selling things for meso, you just farm it yourself, which is kind of fun. I think for me, it's the biggest appeal of playing in this server is the fact that I can make my own gear without spending any money. I mean, technically you can also make your own gear without spending money in the reg server as well, but it's like a different kind, right? I think the scale of how many gains that you can make yourself it's quite different here. Like the sort of upgrades that you make in Heroic is just way too expensive to do in most cases in interactive. Like, it's not that uncommon for players to go for, like, a 3-line attack emblem, right? That's a pretty common upgrade, I'd say. Maybe less common now that, like, most people wait for Seren emblem. But it is, like, a, you know, reasonably accessible upgrade. Albeit very expensive. But in Reg server, that's just... You would be made of money to manually make a 3-line emblem. It's not cheap. Not cheap to do it yourself. You gotta be very lucky. Like, how many cubes does it take on average to get a 3-line attack emblem? Would it be fair to say like 3,000 or 4,000? And how many dollars is it per cube? Yeah, no, I don't want to think about that number. Imagine hitting average with those numbers. Oh. No. If you're paying to do that, that is. I'm sure there's like more efficient ways to make upgrades. There's probably cheaper ways to do it than just straight up buying cubes like that, but still. That's a lot of cubes, and that's a lot of money. And that's just one aspect of the game too, right? Like, you still have to take into account scrolling, star forcing, B-pots. Too many upgrades that I cannot be spending on. Yeah, and I heard that B-pots are even harder to hit. Is that right? Like, I've seen some people with like 3-line attack emblem B-pots. Like, I've seen random like pictures of that, right? I'm just thinking to myself, is that like, how much harder is it to hit something like that with a 3-line attack on just the normal pots? Thousands fires? Probably more, yeah. The numbers can get pretty ridiculous. Look, I'm not one to judge people on how they spend their money or anything like that. It's just something that I won't do. If you have money and you want to spend it how you wish, that's on you. But for me, I think I would like to farm it myself. I think the level of satisfaction is like just higher in that case. Yeah, 20 cubes you unlock tomorrow. What should I focus on? Honestly, I don't even know. Because I feel like the prog for reg server is a little bit different. Because you can settle on like a lot of lines a lot earlier. I feel like anything that I can say regarding the reg server, I don't even know if it will be good advice. Because it's easy to say things based off of heroic progression because, you know, this is how we play. But for reg server, because you can buy things, I genuinely have no idea. How's 9% attack fan versus 40 boss? 9% attack is... Well, hang on. It's like 35% boss damage or something like that. It will be more accurate if you check with your scouter, but it will be typically worse than 40% boss damage, the 9% attack fam. But I can see, depending on like how your account is and how much boss damage you have, it could lose out to it can still beat out the boss damage. Or if in the far future you hit 120 boss damage with less fams, then you can use that 9% attack. So maybe right now the boss damage is a little bit better, but man, having a 9% attack fam really opens up for like high rolling the fams. Man, if you get like a double hybrid, oh, that'd be insane. Could you imagine? Like if you already have a 9% attack fam and you hit a double boss damage and then you hit a boss plus attack fam, holy. Then you will have 3 lines of attack, 3 lines of boss damage on your fams. Whew. Crazy. No, the upper limit is there, but I think though typically it is worse than 40%. The only thing that reg has over heroic is trading within account. We're kind of getting to that point, but not quite. I mean, the whole point of it was to be able to like get everything yourself. The original iterations of heroic was like that too, right? You couldn't trade anything. But now that they've created so many like account-wide systems, they had to be a little bit more lenient. I'm glad that they let us move around arcane boxes and abso boxes. I think the next step should be the ring boxes. If they let us make tradable ring boxes, I think that'd be really nice. I mean, they've already given us rentals. I don't think they should be scared of giving us tradable boxes because everyone will be using the rental system while it's around. And they've already shown that they're going to do that more frequently. I don't know. I think it's okay for them to just shotgun it and just give us tradable boxes. Is there a max attack that you can get from fams? I don't know, actually. Probably not. If there is a cap, you'd probably have to ask a reg server player. Yeah, because boss caps out at 120. Does boss cap at 120? Yeah, it caps at 120. It's not a hypothetical limit, it's hard capped at 120. That's why 120 boss damage is like the goal, it's the cap. This guy's just spreading misinformation. 210 boss damage, that's crazy. Actually, does it even say though? I don't know if it says anywhere. Attack caps at 18%. Oh, there you go. There is a cap. See, I've never even like looked into the cap of attack. Because like the amount of people that will reach that cap in heroic is just like basically 0. Now the room is too dark. I have now turned on the light. Yeah, that cap's a bit wild. It kind of depends on how much you're willing to spend. If you have legendary fams, it's a lot easier to hit those numbers. Because like your top line and bottom lines have like higher potential. Because then really rich people can go for like 9% attack on the top line or 50 boss damage on the top line and a bunch of other things. Like the upper limit is easier to hit. Not cheaper though. Easier but not cheaper. Regarding the Punch King, when does it end? It should be... Isn't it ending like today? Isn't today the last day for the Punch King? It disappears. Alright. This last half an hour should get me to the EXP needed to get to 280. Counterable stuff is the move? I think so too. Because there's so many like Legion oriented stuff. 27 is the cap? Yeah, actually I'm surprised that like 27 attack is the cap, but 120 boss is the cap, you know what I mean? Because the boss damage can go up to 50 per line, right? On legendary? You get 30% an hour? No, I have like transcendent growth pots and stuff. 30% an hour at 270? Come on now, man. What are we even saying? Yeah, it is funny that it's 27 attack, but only 120 boss. How do you get enough to level? I have like transcendent growth pots. I have advanced EXP vouchers. Like, it's not from grinding. Well, where am I going to get 30% from grinding from? That'd be crazy. That would be wild. If I could get 30% an hour, I would never leave this map. Tradable gear would make weird incentives. It would be a bit jank. I think it's fine to do what they're doing right now for Heroic, where only some of it's tradable. I still think though CRA should be tradable. That's you know, CRA is a bygone era. They really should be able to at least move around like these pieces. You know, in a game where we can trade arcanes and arcane boxes and trade Abso boxes, I feel like they should also unlimit the CRA things. Like, you could realistically get 5-set arcane or higher faster than you can get your CRAs to 21 stars now. It would be cool in Heroic if you're able to like just make the gear prior to the Hyperburn. It would be nice, because then the Shining Star Forces become a little bit more better of an event for us. That could be cool. Pinot? Oh my god, Pinot would be a nice one as well. Nothing sucks more than playing a new character, doing Pinot for the first week and getting 3 symbols. Then you're just like, ah, great, now I have to wait up to another 3 weeks. The dream drop is getting like 10 plus symbols on the first run. I think you can actually get 15 on the first run. Tradable will books. Oh, okay. Now you're asking too much of Nexon. Now you're asking for too much. Let's not get greedy here. Ring boxes. Yeah. They should do what they've done with the arcane boxes. They should just make it account tradable. Maybe not necessarily the older ones, because for arcane boxes they only allow for the newer one to be tradable, which is fine, you know. That's fine. But it would be nice. I think that it's more likely to happen than not This just might be my copium speaking, but it's because the rental system, they were very basically made raw 4 and continuous 4, like super accessible, at least on event, right? It really wouldn't change the balance of the game for it to be tradable. Because players that don't currently have it can just simply rent it if they maintain the system, and players that get strong enough can start moving them around for their mules so they can save that 100 mil a week. Like 100 mil a week is, you know, not that big of an investment for how good the game is, but it's still like a small cost. It'd be nice if we can just move around our boxes to get more rings and stuff. Your lot chest saved up. I wouldn't hold my breath on existing chests. I don't expect the existing ring boxes to be tradable, if they ever do that. People were very excited about tradable arcane boxes, but they only made new ones tradable. Which I think is, like, kinda fair. Yeah. Next one has kind of like shown, though, that they don't really like making GMS heroic specific changes. So we'll just have to see. The price of buying arcanes from the vendor is too high. Yeah, so it's about 5 bill per armor piece and about 10 bill for the weapon. It is pretty expensive. I think given the context of when they introduced that system, I think those prices were pretty fair. Because it was actually genuinely hard to farm those droplets, so they had to put it at a high price. But now with Eternals becoming a lot more accessible, and with item burnings becoming more commonplace, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to reduce the cost of them. I think if they halved the cost, would be pretty nice. So rather than the 50 mil per droplet, it would be like 25 mil per droplet. Back when arcanes were endgame? Yeah, so when arcanes were endgame, it was pretty difficult because you had to actually farm the droplets. Good night. Bro, it's like 1 PM. I was taking a nap. That makes sense. But yeah, back then, you had to actually farm the droplets, and the problem was that you had to farm the droplets in the right area as well. So for Lucid, you needed to farm the droplets in Arcana. And the problem with that is that once you hit level 250, you're not going to be farming in Arcana anymore. That was like a real big problem. Like it was a genuine problem in the game's progression because you only needed Will's droplets, or the Tenebris droplets for, what was it? For the weapon and the shoulder at most. And this is when we actually bought the weapon, right? Like the weapon was an actual gain back then. I wouldn't recommend buying arcane weapons anymore, but it was definitely something that we did. But then if you needed the armor pieces, there are 3 armor pieces from Lucid. You had to farm in Arcana, so it was weird to see players who were like 250 plus farming in Arcana for the droplets. It just felt bad. But they kind of alleviated that. They allowed us to buy the droplets, which is really good. And they also made the droplets interchangeable. So any of the droplets you farmed in like Arcana can be swapped into the Will droplets and vice versa. So that was like a really good fix back then. Which class is this? This is Arcana. One of the Sengoku classes. Past the droplets farming phase. The drops from the arcane drops are a lot more accessible now for sure. Yeah, we've rotated from farming droplets to farming frags. It really hasn't changed, it's just a different skin. You got it again? Oh yeah, because my stream crashed, that's why. It's a bowmaster. This guy. Yeah, look at all the arrows that I'm shooting. But yeah, the frags are definitely the new droplets. But I think farming frags is a lot more exciting than farming droplets. At least your frags can be used more often. it feels a bit more exciting. Whereas the droplets, you still had to trade it in for the armor piece, and then you had to Star Force the armor pieces. Like, that's a lot less fun. Crazy that they don't drop it. Oh man, the bosses do drop their own droplets. You have to, it's the same system as like the Absol system, right? Except you can't get the droplets from weeklies. You know, that entire droplet system was why Kanna farming was also doubly a problem. Because, like, mains didn't want to farm in earlier areas because it's so inefficient. Because you didn't get money. Because, like, you know, if you go to areas that are too low level, you don't get any money, right? So people had to farm on their Kannas in Lachlan and Arcana to be able to get these droplets. Which kind of pushed the meta where people needed a Kanna farmer. Because it was just the most convenient way to be able to maximize your totems on your main while still getting good rates and getting, you know, the droplets for your arcane pieces. It was so yeah, it was so strict if you wanted to try to make that sort of progress. I mean, you didn't have to do that, but then if you wanted to make specific progress like that, it was kind of mandatory. Degenerate? Not necessarily. I think in a lot of games where, like, if players have the time and have the effort to do things, they shouldn't be, like, forced into, like, weird, like, loopholes to do it, if that makes sense. Like, if you... Oh, wait, hold that thought. Please, more than blue. Oh, purple. Oh, yellow? Hey, no way, are we getting green? Ascent for green. Oh my god, it's green. Holy moly. That was 4%. I got more EXP from that chest than I did in the last hour. That's crazy. W Especia. My goat. Man, I don't even remember what I was talking about. W streamer clan, yup. What was I talking about? Probably something about droplets. Oh yeah, that's right. Like, for players that wanted to spend more time and effort doing something, they should be allowed to get the stuff, you know? You shouldn't be, like, forced to do weird things to maximize your time and effort. Like, imagine a level 290 player right now. Oh, actually, no, we had this sort of recently. Like, if you were level 280 plus, or 285 back then, before the release of Talahart, and you needed fam cards, the only way you could get fam cards was to go and farm Incernium or Burning Cernium. Like, that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't be forced to go onto a smaller character or farming in, like, the early areas on your main to be able to get access to this sort of system. Do you have to hit the chest to slowly rank it up? Ah, it's random. Sometimes it glows big, sometimes it breaks immediately. Well, now I'm definitely leveling up. I don't even need to do Monster Park necessarily. Do I have a Transcendent Growth pot? I do. So just between the Transcendent pot plus my advanced EXP vouchers, I will get to 280. That was very convenient. I'll finish off this coupon. Because I may as well. Yeah, the diamond chest gives a lot of EXP compared to the other ones. I think even at blue, like if it opens immediately, it still gives you about the same amount of EXP as a green normal chest. So any tier above that is just free EXP. My Kanna unlived video, do you remember how many frags you had? You know what, actually you can go back and find out. Did I ever show that? I'm assuming because you're asking I didn't show it. So, but maybe if I look in the raw footage, I might be able to find out for you. Just give me a second. I want to say I probably had at most unlocked, like, maybe these 2 skills down here. Hang on. It was probably like these 2 skills down here, maybe 1 of each, and then maybe summon Oni at 9. I can see that being the case. That's my... That'll probably be what it was. That's my guess. Because I don't think it would have had that many frags, right? Probably just, yeah, a few unlocks, and then maybe at most 9 on Oni. But I think even then, 9 might be too high. Because I hadn't played too much of my Kanna at that point. It could have actually just been straight 1s across the board and a little bit more on Mastery 2. Yeah, I'm not very good at showing like my character's gear, and the videos I do share my gear, I forget to share my Hexa. It's so bad, man. But yeah, it couldn't have been much more than that though. At most, Mastery 2 was level 9. At most. Yeah, no worries. I think Kanna is just such a solid class. That's why I'm still playing it. And why I even considered playing it. Oh, of course, Melvin's contributions to the character was also pretty welcome. that is undeniable. But I also still have to like the character for that to even happen. 295 Kanna soon? I don't know about soon. It's not solid, it's broken. What are you talking about? I feel like this class could go for a few more buffs. Come on now. Solidly broken, yup. I would never play a broken class. That's true. I don't play meta classes. Yep. I played Kanna before it was cool. Or after it was cool. Wait, what? New Shiki looks awful to use. I agree. Look at this. It's so like sad looking compared to the old Shiki. I do miss old Shiki. Play Kanna when it used to be trash. I'll play Arel. Arel will be trash to balance the Kanna. That would be pretty funny. I do anticipate though Arel being a good class. Can't wait to swipe every pass under the sun for Arel. I might do Jenny pass. That might be it. We'll see how I feel about it. You're over-consuming maple content in preparation. You know what? That's actually kind of valid. Like even you said like after a year, right? Like the game has changed probably significantly enough after a year where like that's kind of valid. We had somebody say that they're playing MapleStory for the first time, going in like sort of blind. And then I'm just thinking to myself, man, it's actually pretty hard to kind of get back into the game, or get into the game. There's so many systems that like you have to know about. And despite it being a pretty old game, it's got a lot of stuff going on, and it can be pretty overwhelming. Like, if you were to go into this game completely blind, I think you're in for a roller coaster of a lot of things going everywhere. Overwhelmed is a very very correct way of putting it. And I think too, it doesn't help that I think a lot of players forget how like convoluted MapleStory can be. It's easy to say, oh, just do your links in Legion, but then if you're a new player, it's like, what does that even mean? You mean I have to make multiple characters to the same point that I've made my main? Because their main wouldn't be that high leveled at the time. So then I could get more bonuses. Okay, then which ones do I have to do? All of them. I have to do all of the links in Legion. And I haven't even touched like the upgrading systems in the game yet outside of that. It's just too much stuff, man. It is really too much stuff. Your niece just started playing, she doesn't understand anything. Valid. You are going to be a walking encyclopedia for your niece for a very long time. It's not that complicated, it's just so much. Yeah, I think the complexity comes from the volume, as opposed to like individually. I mean, there are some systems that are a little bit more nuanced than others, but yeah, it's just because there's so many systems. And then, we're not even like scratching the aspect of like efficiently doing it, which I think a lot of people like to do. I feel like if you're trying to get into a game, it's very natural to try to make the most out of your time and the most out of the resources given to you. But MapleStory is one of those games where you can be efficient as much as you'd like, you just don't have the time to do it. So you have to, funnily enough, to be efficient, you kind of have to cut down on things to do. So you can't really be efficient. It's a weird process, I think, for this game. I think it's not even, even if you play this game 24 hours a day, with no sleep or anything like that, I don't think it'd be possible to be efficient. It's just too many things. What am I gonna burn tomorrow? I'm thinking of burning my Seer. I need the Legion block. Or I want the Legion block. Maybe that's something I could consider making a video on. Maybe others have already done something similar. But I think like a preparation guide for Challenger World is not a bad idea. Because there are a lot of things to go through. Maybe I can make a bunch of videos like that as well. There's so many aspects though, that I think even I won't be able to cover everything. Is Genesis Pass worth on new player? Yeah, I'd say so. If you actually clear those bosses, I think it's worthwhile. I do think that, especially with Challenger World, clearing the C10 bosses, either solo or in a party, is pretty accessible. How do people just get 2 to 3 frags in Challenger World without grinding? They actually give a lot of frags away in Challenger World. As you clear challenges, so by leveling up, or by clearing and soloing certain bosses, you level up your tier in Challenger World. And I think after certain points, they do give you like a lot of fragments. There's a lot of there's also a lot of paid fragments that you can get from the passes as well, which I think a lot of players do. Step 1, credit card on standby. Like, it really is not, you're not wrong. If you wanted to make the most out of everything, those passes are pretty OP. So the Genesis Pass gives you a bunch of extra damage for all the bosses that are in the Liberation missions, basically. So Lotus Damien, Will, Lucid, V-Healer. I don't know if Dark Null and Gloom, I don't know if you get bonuses for those bosses, but I know for the others you do, which is pretty nice. So it's like paid buffs almost. On top of that, you gain 3 times the liberation points, which is like the main draw. So you liberate 3 times faster. What would usually take most players, at fastest, about 3 months, you can be done within like 4 weeks. And then at the end of your liberation, you get access to a guaranteed 3% attack soul, which is very convenient. Like, it's not like the hardest thing in the world to get, but you can definitely get unlucky. And if you don't get that 3% attack soul, it's kind of miserable. So getting that for free is always nice. And you get to pick which soul you want too, which is a nice perk. Real life over Maple. If you're lower than me, you're a slacker. Yup. If you are lower level than me, then you're a casual. If you're a higher level than me, then you're a sweat. That's how it works, right? Genesis Pass not recommended for new players. Yeah, it's one of those ones that have more value for players that know how to do the bosses. Also, thank you for the hydrate. I would say like the Genesis Pass has the most value for players that are willing to try to clear those bosses as soon as possible. Because it does definitely help with the damage. It really does. Sometimes the Arcane Force is really nice. Extra damage though? Yeah, but it's 30 USD for like, what? 10% boss damage, some Arcane Force, some IED. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily worth the money that you pay for it. The main benefit for the money is being able to liberate fast. And that means that you're intending on clearing the bosses as fast as possible. So for new players, might not be the best purchase. Yeah. So many things in this game that you have to be aware of as you play. Tomorrow start H-carling practice. Nice. Hope you have fun. I'm so excited to hit 280 actually. Then I can start farming in Altaria. Yup. How exciting is that? I don't think I can farm in top deck 6, but I hope that I can. No, actually I'm missing so many levels. No, where do I farm? What levels are these guys? 284, it's cooked. I'm just glad that now that I hit 280, I'm going to be able to contribute a lot more in bosses. Same with like the whole Sacred Force part of it too. Because I'm missing a decent chunk of damage from my Sacred Force. So now our N-Carling... I can solo N-Carlos already, so I will definitely contribute more to C-Carlos. Oh, pardon me. Bottom deck 3. I think my main issue with bottom deck 3 is I can't loot the bottom properly. I'm a little bit picky on this, but you see how like I'm standing on this platform, and when the mobs die, I can still pick up things with my vac pet. I don't think bottom deck you can do that, so you have to kind of run around a lot. That's the main downside, from what I remember of bottom deck 3. Maybe I don't have a choice though. I can just farm in the outskirts. The outskirts are probably okay. Could also just lazy farm for a very long time. I think for like one of the smaller 16k maps, I can probably just dusk farm there if I really wanted to. Because I'm not going to be super fixated on my rates. I can chill out a little bit. 280 is a pretty good like non-rush spot. Bottom deck 2 is a small map. I think you're right, but it also might be a 16k map. I remember looking at some of the bottom deck maps. They're smaller, but they have lower rates. I guess it would be better to farm there than maybe some of the outskirt maps. I'll have a look a little bit more detail to see like what makes sense for me. I know playing with the outskirt maps are pretty good. Some people have recommended me them already, but we'll see. Alright. Just finishing up the last 15 seconds of this grind, and I'll be able to claim some event stuff and just level up to 280. I'm very lucky along the way today. I was kind of expecting to grind for at least another half an hour, but that random diamond chest that popped up really helped. Gave like, what, 4% EXP or something. That is a crazy amount of EXP. So let's just go to town and get to 280. So what I can do is I can claim the event transcendent growth pot here. That should give me about 14%, assuming I have inventory space. There you go. So now I'm on 93%. And then for the last little bit, I can use this Maple University stuff. I'll just exchange these advanced EXP vouchers. And this should get me to 280. There we go. Done. Now we can go to Arteria. How fun. There's actually a lot of things that I'm really happy about this for, because I get the new symbol, which is really important. I would really like my Sacred Force to be higher, and now that I'm here, I can actually do that. Where's my new Sacred symbol? Here it is. So now I think I'm at 330. Yeah, I'm at 330 now. But I had this from somewhere else in the event. Here it is. 200 sacred symbols. I can put this all into my Arteria symbol. So hopefully this will let me farm in the areas a lot better. I have heaps of like Sacred Force as well already from like the event buff, but this will help. Just making sure. Wait. Arteria, yeah. There we go. So this should level it up a few times. Yeah. Twice more, so I'm at 350 now. So this is pretty good for farming. And I think at 350, this is enough for me to do full damage to Carlos. At least in terms of Sacred Force, so that's always nice. Yeah. Also, how much stat does that give me? Damn, 900 stat. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. And now I'm in another hell. Oh, the Arteria grind is not the best. Let's be honest. It is not the best. 380 for full damage? Is it 380? Maybe for N Carlos. Am I thinking N Carlos? C Carlos, I think it might be 380. I think N Carlos might be only 300. Let's find out. Yeah, so for N Carlos, I only need 300. So 350 is full damage. Well, for C Carlos, it is 350. Sorry, for C Carlos, it is 330. So I need 380 for max. That's still far away, but I'm just glad that I do full damage to N Carlos. And also for N Carling, I'm no longer doing like less than 1%. I'm no longer doing less than 100% rather. Yeah. And now we're gonna find a place to farm on this character, but we'll figure that out later. Hydrate? Oh, thank you, Baron. Have fun at work. We also need to add the daily. We have done it. Hello, Okray. Welcome. Let me have a quick look at bottom deck 3. I can probably still go here for my dailies. That's fine. Because I think this map is probably enough. I am missing a little bit of Sacred Force, but that's okay. I don't think my Dusk is one-shotting here. Guess I'll find out. Yeah, nah, Dusk is not one-shotting. Which is... Actually, it's not even hitting these guys up here. Nah, it's not even close. That's okay. I'll just do my dailies first. Also, the looting on this map is a little bit awkward. Not my ideal map. Yeah, I'm also 2 levels under. That probably does not help. I'll just farm in the outskirt maps for the time being, because I can definitely... I say definitely. I'm pretty sure I can one-shot there. Pretty sure I can one-shot there. But man, now we gotta start all the way back down to from 0. Another 5 levels to go before I can do anything else. But that's fine. We'll get there slowly. My dreams of farming in top deck 6 are very far away from me. Would like to farm in top deck 6. Flag God. Have I done flag this week? Yeah, we're done. Flag is done. How's farming on Kanna? Pre 6 job? Pretty bad. In the sense where it's like kind of active. Your summons are not very consistent. They kind of just like do whatever they want. Unlike the old Kanna where you could like place them in specific spots. But once you unlock 6 job, you can definitely lazy farm the smaller maps with Dusk. Your summons are pretty good for that, and Dusk will clean up the rest. In bigger maps, I think you would want to have at least level 10 Soul Janus. And then I think with level 10 Soul Janus, you should be able to farm most of the horizontal maps pretty nicely. And then, of course, after you hit 20 Janus, then it kind of becomes like every other class. You can definitely Dusk farm and just be lazy, though. I lazy Dusk farmed for quite a while on this character, getting to level 280. So yeah, I'd say like Kanna's farming is nothing special. It's pretty average. It's mostly because the summons they just do whatever they want. Sometimes you will have stragglers here and there, that's why it relies on like Soul Janus. Either Dusk or Dawn. But once you get level 10, then you know it's pretty chill. I'll have to look into maps I can farm in Arteria. I think ideally, until I hit some of the better maps, I probably just want to lazy farm, because yeah, I don't really want to have to put my summons in funny spots. Alright. Oh, and the cool part here too is that I can unlock the new thing. Where is it? This one, Nightmare Paradise. I just need to actually do the pre-quest. But maybe I'll do that later. Left the bottom passage 3. The problem with that map at the moment is that I don't have enough Sacred Force or levels, so my Dusk is not one-shotting. So I don't expect my Dawn to one-shot either. This is like the one downside of playing Kanna, is that the class is quite strong. But it's like, the damage itself is not very high. So the skills do a lot of damage, but Kanna's final damage is not high. So Dawn and Dusk kind of don't do that much damage. So So yeah, my Dusk will probably not one-shot there, or Dawn for that matter. I need more Sacred Force. May have to do some upgrades on my gear, but yeah. It get changed eventually. Yeah, we'll see. Alright. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I don't have to zero out. We did it, guys. We made it to 280. Now I can farm and not worry about it. Actually, I should probably do some weeklies, because I've skipped a lot of them. Oh, 280 Kanna done. Very good. Now I just need to find a lazy map that I can farm in for the time being. Alright, I don't know if I can be bothered doing N Carlos. What do you guys think? Should I bother with it? I kinda just want to do C Carlos, I mean E Carlos and call it a day. Not C Carlos. No C Carlos for this character unless I'm getting carried. Yep. Where's my... There it is. This is not on my skill sequence. On my buff sequence. It's a bit weird doing Saren without any party members. W frame rate. Oh, my music just shut itself off. It's okay, I can fix that in a second. There we go. Oh. My favorite part in Saren is when she runs around and you can't hit her anymore because you're just getting blinded by everything in the map. My favorite. Okay, out of curiosity, how many of you guys are considering making a battle mage for your burning, either in Challenger World or just the one coming up in a few days? I feel like there were a few people who have asked me about Battle Mage recently. Honestly, it's not a bad pick. I kinda like the character. Oh, thank you for following. Welcome. Is Battle Mage good for main? Oh yeah, as a main, it's pretty solid. At least I feel like it's good for a main. I wouldn't say that it's a bad class at all. One of the main downsides of playing this class has already kind of been addressed. One of the more annoying parts about playing Battle Mage was that it had a lot of skills that weren't on the skill sequence, and in the more recent update, they chucked a lot of them on the skill sequence. This altar of annihilation that you see, like this summon, it used to be a lot worse than it is. And this current iteration of it is a lot more convenient to use. It feels like it does more damage, and the hitbox is just way, way bigger. So, I don't know. Feels like a pretty good pick right now. Also, the fact that this class has one of the best teleports, if not the best teleport in the game, is, you know, it's quite nice. It's one of the few teleports that you can use straight up from the ground, which is really broken. I'd say the biggest downside of playing Battle Mage is that it is a little bit annoying to have to replace your summons every once in a while when the boss moves around like this. It's like there's no catch-all position for a lot of these summons. It's a bit annoying. Minor inconvenience. Okay, sir. Oh, there goes my door. I thought I wasn't going to get hit there. The hitbox for some of the attacks for Saren is surprisingly big. Oh! How's Cannon Master? Would I recommend it for Challenger World 3? I think it's fine. If you are into playing like a kind of burst heavy playstyle, Cannon Master is a pretty fun one, I'd say. Like all of Cannon Master's damage comes from its two, like, 1 minute burst cycles, basically. That's where most of the damage is done. And if you're into playing classes that have that sort of gameplay, then yeah, I'd say it's pretty solid. It's received a lot of quality of life upgrades since I started playing it. I quite like it. Come on, clear me for the test. I think the main downside of playing Cannon Master, which is kind of alleviated later down the track, is you do get the most out of that class if you have both a weapon jump and a ringer restraint. But in the future, like in another 3 months' time, every class is going to be using ringer restraint continuous anyway, so that's not really a problem. Yeah, but the class though has pretty good farming, I'd say. Has like one of the most AFK farming capabilities that I've personally played. You can just dusk farm all the way to victory. Yeah, I personally like it. Give me 3 Pinot Fams for Challenger World 3. I think you're asking for a little bit much. Just maybe. Thankfully, that's just a one burst. Have I played Mercedes? I've only made it to like level 210, and then I just used like event stuff to get it to 250. Zero Mercedes experience. Didn't get the last one in. Just try and move around too funnily. Alright, adversary, I just need you to die so I can get some money. I need the money. I keep spending. How many of you guys have spent too much money in the last couple of days just on random things? I can't be the only one, right? Surely not. You actually had 120 bill? That is crazy. I mean, in all fairness, kind of running out of things for you to work on unless you do like arcanes, I guess. Not. I've cooked it. Right. I was worried that he was going to start running around. Oh my god. Oh no, I couldn't see which way he was facing. Oh no. Scary adversary. I'm trying to run away, don't get near me. I need to do this boss on like another 3 characters as well. Oh. I'm surprised I still have 1,000. Oh, that was so slow. Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna burn a seer this week. At least it's just 2 origin burst for this fight. Xerin didn't give you an emblem. Yeah, I would like an emblem on my Corsair as well. But at this point I'm losing faith. Ah, look at that ring box. I feel like my battle mage gets ring boxes quite often from this boss. Not so much from the others. For the other characters. I'm just gonna do easy. I'm too lazy to do normal today. Max effects battle mage looks crazy. Battle mage, half of the reason to pick this class is the aesthetics, right? If you weren't gonna play at max capacity at some point playing battle mage, is it really worthwhile playing this class? Like genuinely, half of the reason why I even like battle mage is the way that the class looks. If I can't see the attacking skills, then what's the point? If it causes me to die out, it is what it is. Is this easy? Yeah, I did easy adversary. This is also easy Carlos. I'm too lazy to do normal this week. I'll just take the money. Stop! See, Carlos. Yep, that's me. He definitely was not paying attention when he did the dive. Although it was just a teleport. I think if I wanted to proc this character, I wouldn't mind going into a C. Carl's party just to get more Eternals and possibly 22ing the Eternals. But I don't think my character's strong enough. Maybe I can blue dot, but I think at that point I'd rather just play other characters. My motivation to play my battle mage is on the lower end right now because there's not many things I can really do to make gains on it outside of like pitch and going for limbo. I don't really see the point of me 22ing my Eternals. Battle Mage was the reason why I had such a hard time learning how to do Carlos and my other characters. Because like you never get punished from going to the wrong platform as a Battle Mage. You move around so quickly that you can reposition into the exact spot that you need to every single time. But man, when I was playing my Cannon Master in C Carlos for the first time, I was getting carried. I failed the test like twice. I felt so bad about it. It made for a funny clip, but I did feel a bit bad. Get baited by Fountain? Nah, it was because I was so used to playing my Battle Mage, I didn't have really good control over like where my character ended up. So as a result, I ended up just like over jumping the places I needed to be. If that makes sense. Oh. Yeah, it was never the fountain. I just overshot my jumps a lot. Also, rope lift like sends you hella flying if you don't do it properly. So you like I've definitely died once trying to get up into the bubble. Don't know if you guys have had that problem before. Easy money. I wonder which other characters I need to do this boss on. Holy. More boxes. All these ring boxes on my battle mage. I didn't get very many ring boxes on my Kanna when I was doing these bosses. So it was a bit sad. My Kanna is in dire need of a raw 4. Honestly, if I had the option to do Tower of Oz right now, I probably would. As crazy as that sounds. I don't know if I've done all my bosses on my Corsair. Maybe I haven't done Carlos. Cap? Dude, I want to raw 4 my Kanna that bad, I'd do it. Just like one run a day. Just one floor 50 a day. If I get it, I get it. Now this is a character I don't know if I can be bothered doing. E-Adversary. E-Adversary. E-Carlson. Is it worth the 10 minutes? I don't know. Rental's coming back soon? That is true, actually. You're right. It is coming back soon. Maybe that will hold me off. Hopefully by the time that the rentals go away, I'll have a raw 4. Which is like, I think not a bad plan. How many active boss meals do I have? I play up to 11 of them. After Challenger World? Yeah, probably. The 12th one will probably be my RL. How do I play this character? What's going on? The nice thing about playing Wild Hunter is that while I can't see the boss also cannot see me. Therefore, if I can't see anything, I'll be iframed. I forgot to use my ring before I pressed my buttons. Never knew the rentals were raw 4. Yeah, they're very powerful. Nope. Uh-oh. Oh, I almost died out. Oh, actually yesterday I got a pitch boss after I ended my stream. I had to stop my stream because it was like lagging a lot. Some exit lag thing was not having fun with all the Australian players. And I did actually get a Zerk on my Blaze Wizard, which was kind of nice. It was the first time I've seen a Zerk on it. Picking between Shade or Zero? Yeah, Zero is a pretty good class though. Classic Laka Dog. I have actually seen a lot of pitch this week. It's been a pretty good week for pitch. Saw an update for MC where your character's always in front. I think we should be getting that soon too. What the? I just realized. Must have been from like High Mountain or something. Out of all the boss builds, which one feels the best to play in terms of farming and bossing? Okay, out of the ones that I've played, I think a lot of them were pretty chill on the farming aspect, I'm not gonna lie. Plenty of classes have, at least the ones that I've played, have their own class summons. So I haven't really noticed like ones that are significantly worse than the others. They're all like, all pretty solid farmers. I would say like in terms of, so I'll speak more on like the terms of bossing. I like my Wild Hunter, Battle Mage, and Corsair a lot. And Ren for the same reasons. They're all just very, very chill to play. The movement feels really good across all of them. And they just feel very solid. And then on the other side you have like my characters like my Kanna, my Hero, my Cannon Master, where they just do, they feel like they do a lot of damage. I don't know whether or not they actually do big damage is, you know, another question, but they feel like they do a lot because they're like the burst classes, and I like them for that reason. I unfortunately do not really like my Mechanic and my Xenon that much. I don't mind the Xenon as much anymore. Like the reworked version of the Xenon is like pretty fine. It's just a very whatever class to me at the moment. If I had to pick one of the characters that I like overall the most, oh, actually, I'll pick two. I don't think I'll be able to pick one. I actually quite like my Wild Hunter and my Battle Mage overall between farming and bossing the most. But they're not that far ahead of the other classes, I'd say. I had a pretty good time farming on my Hero, Corsair as well, Renan as well. Yeah, heaps of the classes I play I actually genuinely like a lot. It's hard to pick. I kind of just listed all of the characters I play. I like all of my characters. Which kind of makes sense for me because I only play characters that I like. If I didn't like it, I would have dropped it already, which was the case for like my Demon Avenger and my... what was the other one? My Buck. Didn't really prog that character. I haven't even mentioned my Blaze Wizard, but my Blaze Wizard is like in the middle of the pack, I'd say. Solid mobbing overall, solid bossing overall. I like Wind Archer? Possibly. I think the main reason why I didn't really look into Wind Archer that much was because at first it was like a Cygnus class. I didn't have any characters in the branch outside of my Blaze Wizard. And I don't think I was really playing my Blaze Wizard at the time. But yeah, no, I'm not like hugely into like specifically playing archers. I would definitely say I like playing pirates and mages more. Alright, what does my Wild Hunter need? Needs a Zerk. That's what it needs. Alright, if I hide in the corner, then Gloom can't see me, right? Alright, Gloom can definitely see me in the corner. I wouldn't mind getting more belts in this character. I blew up so many of them. I think I've blown up like at least 3 belts. Look at how many Zerks that have died. Straight into the bin. Combat power on the Wild Hunter? I think it's around 200 mil. Yeah, 204. With all the event buffs and stuff. Any Hexa? I think the Hexa is like pretty decent. I can show it afterwards. But I do remember like giving this character a decent amount of investment on its Hexa. I actually can't wait for the changes in, or like the update in Crown, because I heard that Wild Hunter gets a bit stronger, gets buffs and stuff. I'm not going to complain about buffs. Yeah, I'll show the Hexa in a sec. I do remember putting a decent amount of frags on it. So yeah, I have one skill at 16. A few random bits and pieces here and there. One skill at 16, one at 5. Origin has a little bit. Sent to 3 for good damage. Yeah, I only have a sent at 1 just so that I could do Damien. And for the most part, I've just been following like the damage, like the frags sheet on the Discord. I haven't really specifically upgraded my sense for the damage or anything. Because yeah, I just quickly run through my bosses ideally. A lot of my characters actually don't even have a sense unlocked, because it's too many characters to work on. I could give them the 5k mobs, frags, and maybe a high mountain to unlock a sense, but it's like, yeah, it's whatever. You missed the Hexa? I just opened it again for you, give me a sec. There you go. The skill on the bottom left is a 1 here. I don't know if you can see it properly. I do really like the new Wild Hunter because the damage spread is a lot better. Before, like, it was very burst oriented and then the DPS was really sad. Now they've like reduced the burst a little bit and have made the DPM a lot nicer. Oh. Got Hexastat? Oh, that's a good question actually. Just Hexastat 1. Yeah, Hexastat 2 is pretty expensive to unlock. A lot of my characters don't have Hexastat 2 for that reason as well. Okay. Yeah, I am highly considering just removing E-Carlos out of my rotation on this character. I don't know if I can be bothered. Crazy how early Hexa 2 and 3 are done for classes? Yeah. Early Hexa stat for those classes can be like... Wait, I just did that burst without my raw. Is that going to be a problem? Nah, I don't think so. Early Hexa stat's nice for those classes though. It feels weird to do it, but... I don't know, just like the overall gain on the damage is so good that it's probably worthwhile. Look, at the end of the day, the guys who make the sheets, they probably know a thing or two about like how the damage should be distributed in that sense. They probably know better. I'm just gonna follow it. Skill effects is horrible. It's blinding. But I think a lot of classes is pretty blinding. I don't mind it too much though. I think it's fun. You don't usually get to do a lot of content. Oh, it's talking about the sound effects. Okay, nah, I can agree. For Wild Hunter, the skill sound effects could have been a little bit chunkier. It feels very... I don't know what the right word is. It's very thin. Very thin sounding. I know that the class is shooting arrows and stuff like that, but I feel like it could they could add a little bass to some of the sound effects. I think that's what it's lacking, actually, now that I think about it. I did think about that, too, about how the new Wild Hunter sound effects aren't as, like, chunky as it used to be. When you used to hit, like, on burst, a rampage, it was, like, actually pretty loud in comparison to the rest of the sounds, because it's, like, 8 tigers, or 8 jaguars hitting the same target. Now it's not as satisfying, I'd say. Oh. Lack of roars? Yeah, pretty much. Like, I get that they leaned into, like, the hurricane skill a little bit more. But I wouldn't have minded it if the Jaguar sound effects were a little bit more obviously, you know, Jaguar-like. Oh. Hello, JH. Good morning. Good nap. That's good. Now, back to work. The fun things in life. Yep. Swap to drop. Alright. I have 63, or 64 now. Still far away from another pitch to pity. I don't even know which item to pity at this point. I feel like going for a Zerk doesn't feel right. After you get your eye patch and ET, is it better to go for like a new item, or is it better to try to like use those points to roulette? But then again, I guess we should be waiting for like the new changes before we make a decision. I love that Nexon withheld that information from us. One large sum to 22. Yeah, that's why I don't want to like pick anything with the characters that have enough pity. Because if you can just like pay a lot to go straight to 22, I would just opt to picking the pitch that I don't already have. And then just full sending it. I kind of doubt that it's going to be that simple, but I hope it is. Sounds too good to be true. If all they're doing is just making us pay a large sum. If they do make us pay one large amount of meso to go straight to 22, what do you guys think the number would be? Let's just say like for an ET. ET is I think a pitch that everybody would like to get to 22. It's one of the first items I think a lot of people would pick as well. Like how much do you guys think Nexon would put it at? Not how much you want to put it at. How much do you think Nexon would put it at? Because I think Nexon would put something like at least a few hundred bill. 100 bill. Honestly, I think 100 bill for a 22 star is pretty expensive, but if it's guaranteed for a pitch, I think I'd take it too. I don't think it will be less than 50 bill. 677 bill. Thank you, Melvin. But yeah. Just given the fact that KMS requires you to have 4 spares to get back to 22 stars if you've already hit it, kind of indicates to me that they'll probably do at least 4 to 5 times the average cost. And they would know what the average cost is, so they probably have the numbers. The average cost safeguarded to 22, a random level 200 item is probably in that range of like 20 to 30 bill off event. Couldn't it be the KMS system that you can revive with multiple spares? They could do that, but I really hope that they don't. Because the issue with Reboot is that, or like in Heroic, is that we can't get the spares in the first place for a lot of these items to even make use out of that system. So I'm kind of hoping that they find a way, or they choose to do it away, so then we can, you know, realistically hit these stars without having to amass a lot of spares. I think in some aspects the spare system is kind of nice for some items, but in Heroic it's quite hard to gather so many of them, especially if it's pitched. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how they do it. I hope that they don't implement that spare system, just because I know in Heroic the spares are going to be like a major problem. It already is a major problem. For some people it's hard to even get one spare, let alone what, the 4 that you will need to bring it back to 22. But that's assuming you even get to 22. I don't remember what the numbers were along the way. It probably is like 1 spare to get to like 19 or 20 or whatever it is. But at the same time, it is, you know, you still have to have that extra spare. It is a quality of life to use 1 spare to bring it back to 19, I suppose. That's better than nothing, but yeah, not ideal. I feel like that system was definitely built on the ability to be able to just buy them from the market. So yeah. I had the option to choose, yeah. I don't think they'll take away what star forcing is at the moment, but having an alternative way to hit 22 stars is not going to be a bad thing, hopefully. I mean, regardless, even if they do implement that KMS system, it's still a gain overall, because it's just like an extra option. It's just not an option that Heroic can really take advantage of, or realistically use for some items. Because I'm just thinking, what are the other items that you might want to push past 22 in this case? Because that's like where the benefit is. It's just mostly slime rings and daybreaks. It's not that realistic to be applied to things like arcanes, because nobody really star forcing past 22 arcanes. Eternals, I think you can probably make an argument for as well, but it does take a while to get those spares. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. We've got to wait another month. Let's see what Inkwell and the team have cooked. It's basically all of us just holding off for one star forcing event, and they've already said that they're gonna do more shinings anyway, so we're not really losing out that much. We'll see what they cook. It would be nice to be able to get 22 pitches more consistently. Especially now that they've added the pity system, so you can actually pick and choose which ones you need. Being able to pick one and instantly get it to like 22 star, in theory for a lot of players would be really nice. But I kind of doubt that it would be that easy. I don't think it would just be as easy as paying a flat fee. Not that I'm not hoping that'd be the case, but I just kind of doubt it. It sounds a little bit too easy. I don't know how I would approach it. And it's such a touchy subject for a lot of players as well, which is why this system is going to be very interesting to see how they implement. If they do something that is like too crazy, then I guess they might speed up the game a little bit more than they would like. Which I don't think is a bad thing for the player, but I can understand from their perspective. They want people to spend more time in the game, so I kind of doubt that they'll do that. But at the same time, if they do something that is just too slow, or like not that effective, then players are gonna hella complain about it. Oh! I do not have my burst up. If they make ET 100 bill, people will play more. It kind of depends on like how they go about the other things as well. Because 100 bill is a lot of money, but then you can also have like the reverse effect where people see it's such a high amount that maybe they are kind of put off from farming that amount. I'm interested to see what they do. We'll see. Congrats, book. I don't want a book. What are you on about? I think I actually might have 3 books on this character already. Yeah, I already have 3. Chill. I don't need it. Do I do C Carlos? I mean E Carlos. I don't want it. Super book incoming. True. True. I'm just gonna do Von Bon. I don't want to do Carlos. Not feeling it this week. I'll run Carlos on the ones that need the rings. This one, I don't care. I'll just get the easy money. Does the color matter? It does matter. Very slightly, but it does. So each of the books have one stat that is slightly higher than the others. So for example, this green book, you can see here, Dex is 20 instead of the rest of them being 10. So for the green one, it's Dex. For the red one, it is Strength, because you can see this one, for Strength, it's 20 base stat as opposed to the 10. So ideally, you will pick the book that is the color for your class. So for Strength, it's red, for Dex, it's green, Luck, it's yellow, and for Int, it's blue. It's just 10 extra stat. So pretty small, but it's like a free stat. So you should pick the right color. We've had at least one person get too excited and pick the wrong color, not realizing that they're slightly different. But I think they did get... Support did give them back the book for the right stat, which is kind of nice. I think it might have been Parsh. I don't remember exactly who did it, but somebody did it. But ideally, you don't go to support and then have to ask them to do it, because what if they say no? It's definitely a world where they do say no. Alright, we've made some meso gains. This is going to be basically 8 bill between those two characters. I still have heaps of boss mills to run to. Don't know if I can... So many boss mills I have left. Not touched Hard Seren and some of the other ones. Do not pick the wrong color, you'll be called out and laughed at. And also, if you don't realize, support might not actually refund it for you. Because if you've had that book for like months, I don't think they'll refund it. I think for Parsh, he got his book refunded because it was within like a day of him claiming it. Can we combine our points? What is this conspiring? Now, honestly, I don't even have anything I really care to cube. I guess I could like fix fake 3 lines into real 3 lines, but do you guys really want to see me do that? I feel like that's a waste of money. But then again, for you guys are probably just happy to see me use money. It's not about the end result. It's about me wasting my money. Alright, gains. Want you to make gains? I'm sure you do, but I can't speak for the others. Cube your marksman's emblem. Hell nah. It's Kanna 280? Yeah, I just hit 280 like maybe half an hour ago to an hour ago. I don't remember exactly when. Wasted 16 bill to go from 140 to 120. Oh no, 140 to 160. I mean, I'm happy that you hit the 20% at least. Sometimes going for those last couple of hybrids, you can spend 16 bill and not get anything. At least you got something. I'm happy that you got something. I'm not happy that it was, you know, not that cheap. 16 bill is still pretty expensive. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. How strong is the Kanna? So my Kanna is about 340 mil combat power now in its damage gear. And I think C10 is probably 1 burst each. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just 1 burst. Maybe V-Healer is like 1.5 bursts. Because I don't really like fully buff up for that boss sometimes. I should have gained a little bit of combat power since then. Yeah, I gained 5 mil combat power, or 6 mil. Because of my my symbol alone. This is 900 stat. That's crazy. Gives so much extra damage. I wish I had more symbols, but I think I've claimed all of them already. Yeah, I think I've claimed all the random symbol stuff. Yeah. I think now too, my character could probably, at the very least, I'll be able to solo N Carlos. Ideally, I'll find a C Carlos party, but worst case, I can just solo N Carlos pretty easily. I can definitely solo E Carling as well, but ideally, again, I would like a N Carling party. Well, I will be dueling it. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get some Eternals soon. Working on it. These are all half cookies as well, so I need to get 20 to get 1 of each. So that should take about 10 weeks, roughly. So in 10 weeks, I should be... Oh, less than 10 weeks, maybe like 8 weeks. I should be able to get my 3-set Eternal. That'll be fun. And then I can replace these. And that's when I'm going to need to actually save my money. That's where a lot of my money is going to be sent. Because getting to 18 star on Eternal is not exactly cheap, especially if it gets stuck 17 to 18. Like, how much money is it? Each tap. Isn't it like 300, 400 mil per tap? Maybe even more. Eternals are not cheap. 25 bill for a single 18 star? Yeah, exactly. You can get like annihilated by that. Not cheap. Not cheap at all. I've done all of my expeditions. Wow. Kind of finished everything. I just haven't done Nightmare Paradise. I'll do that later, because I have to go through like the story and stuff. This character's getting nice and strong. I'm very happy about that. I just need to upgrade this a few more times, and I think I need to start working on my Hexa stat as well. Have I done it once? I have not. So I have to do the story. Kanna's all grown up. Yup. I'm just gonna use these advanced EXP vouchers. Do I really need to use on anything else? Probably not. Have fun. I mean, worst case, I can just do Angler Company. Let's see how miserable it is first. I can almost get another level here. That's okay. A few days of dailies. And, yeah. I think my next kind of goal with the character is probably a long one. It's probably 285. That's really far away. So now that I've kind of like taken the pressure off myself, I can just do whatever now. I feel less bad about it. 280 is very comfy. And I get to be in the new map, Arteria, my favorite jail. Oh yeah, here's the person. This is for Nightmare Paradise, right? Yeah. I'll do that later. Arteria Elo jail. Yup. Limbo lessons. From me? I don't know about that one. How do people farm in these maps? This map just looks like a dusk map. Where do I put my fountain? No, it's kind of cooked. Some of these maps are really big. I might not even be able to farm here, to be honest. I don't have my G skills on, but I'm not certain I'll be able to. Yeah, my dusk is not doing very much. Oh god. Maybe it's just back to Shang angle. Just stay in Shang for a little bit longer. Yeah, it's looking a little grim, guys. Looking a little grim. But I'll figure that out later. Double ball farmed on the 35. I think that I will have a better time doing that, Polar. Do you remember what maps? Because I'm okay farming in suboptimal maps if it means I'm lazy. Kind of like how I farmed in Gate 1. Look, I can farm in Gate 1. Hello, Bato. Who's my next hyper? Will be Sia. Alright, let me try this. I remember farming here for a little bit. I think this one is a small map. If it means I can be lazy, I'm inclined to do it. I do have that rune helping me, but we'll see what happens here. Well, on the outskirts is the thing. Fountain left, ball right. Does dusk work as well? Do I reach everything else with dusk? Because if it works with dusk as well, then I'll save myself one input, I guess. It's 139. I can't get. You were really weak? Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's see. You should go to like 308 here. You know what? It's not bad. 307 should go to about 340. I mean, I am sort of full clearing the map. It's not the worst. I mean, this kind of works. It's not the best. Let's see, 304 should go to about 440 something. Oh, my fountain ran out, I think. It's not like fully efficient. I think maybe the balls might be slightly better. Yeah, that's okay. Well, I think it's because my dusk is not one-shotting. At the very least, this rotation is lazy. But I don't think my dusk is like clipping everything. $78, I mean $75. It's not bad, it's just not consistent. Yeah. Yeah, that area maps are pretty bad. I do have 10 Janus, but actually, it's been so long since I farmed with Dawn. It's okay if the ball's 2-shot, right? Is that what it is? Because for Dusk, if you 2-shot on Dusk, it's pretty tragic. Because you might not like tag the same mob twice and then they just wander around on like 0 HP. Whereas like for Dawn, it's not too bad, right? The balls can 3-shot? Okay. But Dusk is the bad one. Okay. That's fair. I'll definitely have a look then. Yeah, okay, decent prog. Kinda made back some money that I spent yesterday. Back on 27 bill, that's good. If I finish all the rest of my weeklies, I could probably get back up to like 45. 45 would be nice. Let me check off the characters that I've done bosses on. Battle Mage, done. Wild Hunter, done. Kanna, done. So I still have my Mechanic, my Xenon. Ren, Corsair, Cannon Master. Oh my god, there's so many characters I haven't done. That's okay. That is okay. Anyway, I think though that'll probably be it for today's stream. I'll be doing a early stream tomorrow. Might just finish up all my weeklies in the morning and then continue pushing the Kanna afterwards. Hopefully I'll spend some time today figuring out a rotation that makes sense for me. I would really like to do that. And then if I can farm comfortably in Altaria, as comfortable as that can be, then that would be ideal. Hopefully as well my shelf will come in soon, so then you guys can have something a little bit more interesting to look at than my wall on my right. Anyway, appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. If you guys enjoyed the stream over on YouTube, please do give it a like. Helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Take care. Oh, actually, another thing I should do. Let's have a look to see if I can send you guys over to anyone on Twitch. I keep forgetting to do this. Looks like Misusing is doing stuff, so I'll send you guys to him. Alright. I'll see you guys tomorrow.